You've been wondering why heaven has gone quiet. Why the voice that once roared like thunder now whispers, or says nothing at all. This is not abandonment. This is not neglect. This is the seal of protection over something too sacred to be spoken too soon. Just as Daniel was told to seal the words until the appointed time, God has locked this promise away in a vault. No demon can pick, no enemy can overhear, no counterfeit can imitate. You are carrying something classified in the courts of heaven. And in this silence, you are under heaven's security protocol. Governments classify missions to keep them safe. How much more would the Creator shield what is eternal? If the enemy could see the blueprint, he'd set traps that look like blessings and distractions that look like destiny. So God blinds him by keeping you hidden in plain sight. The quiet is training your spirit to hear the subtle. No flashing signs, no dramatic signals, only the gentle leading of the Spirit. So when the gift comes, you'll recognize the touch of the same hand that kept you. In this stillness, your faith is lifting weights without crutches. You're walking by the unseen, learning to hold the line without constant reassurance. Because this gift will require you to stand on what God said, even when others can't see it yet. The blessing is being disguised from counterfeits. If the enemy knew exactly what was on its way, he'd flood your path with cheaper versions, good enough offers designed to bleed you dry before the real thing arrived. This divine silence keeps your discernment razor sharp, your path uncluttered. Even if your heart is ready, heaven is aligning the earth beneath your feet. The right people, the right place, the right hour, so that when the gift lands, it finds a prepared landing zone, not hostile ground. This is also a loyalty test without incentives. Will you worship for who he is, or only for what he gives? Those who pass this test inherit not just the gift, but the trust to carry it without corruption. Some blessings can't touch the old you. The silence is burning away what cannot stand in the next chapter. Old fears, toxic patterns, false identities. You're being stripped so the weight of glory won't crush you. And when the silence finally breaks, the awe will be undeniable. People will see the timing, the scale, the impossibility, and they'll know it could only have been God. For now, the sacred remains in the dark. Growing roots no storm can rip out. When it emerges, it will stand unshaken by criticism, jealousy, or misunderstanding. You are in the delivery room of destiny, and the hush is proof that the miracle is already crowning. Sometimes, the greatest gifts arrive dressed like work, like a mantle so heavy it demands both hands to carry, like a door that swings wide. But on the other side is an assignment that will cost you your sleep, your comfort, your predictable routines. This is the GIFTASASSIGNMENT principle. God doesn't hand you treasures to decorate your life. He hands you tools to rebuild kingdoms. And the proof that you're chosen isn't the ease of the blessing, it's the weight of the responsibility attached to it. Sometimes the gift makes room by removing what you thought you couldn't live without. Capacity by subtraction. A friendship fades. An opportunity collapses. A door slams so loudly it echoes in your chest. And you wonder, how could this be preparation? But God knows a vessel can only pour out what it has room to hold. The pruning is proof that he plans to fill you in ways you can't yet see. And don't expect it to come all at once. Process over event. Moses didn't step out of Egypt and into the promised land in a day. Joseph's dream took years to unfold through pit, prison, and palace. The answer you've prayed for may unfold in stages, and the test will be whether you can walk out what you once only envisioned in prayer. When the gift arrives, it will demand a priority reorder audit. Suddenly, the schedule that once worked will break under the weight of the calling. Habits will need dismantling. Old alliances will no longer align, because you cannot fit a destiny-sized gift into a lifestyle built for survival. It may even arrive in a problem's clothing, problem-shaped provision. Like water hidden in a rock, its value will be revealed only through obedience. God will put the answer in your hands in the form of a question only you can solve, and the solving will shape you into the kind of steward who can keep it. The delivery may not come through the people you expect. Imperfect vessel delivery. It may be wrapped in the voice of someone you dislike, in the advice of someone you underestimated, in the hands of someone whose flaws you've judged. Will you honor the gift even if you do not prefer the messenger? Watch for micro-obedience windows, moments so small you could miss them. An instruction to speak, to wait, to move, to sow. They will be time-sensitive. They will make no sense until later. And they will be the hinges on which massive doors swing open. And there will be moments of delay, Where resources run thin, where pressure rises, where shortcuts whisper, integrity under delay. This is where God measures whether your character will hold its shape under scarcity, whether your urgency will bow to his timing. Some gifts will arrive in seed form, unimpressive, overlooked, easily dismissed by those without vision. But in your hands, if you tend it, if you protect it from frost and famine, it will one day grow taller than the voices that doubted it, and be ready for applause independence. Because the first steps with this gift may not be celebrated. They may be mocked, misunderstood, criticized by those who once clapped for you. And that is how God will see if you move by conviction, or if you still hunger for the approval of the crowd. You've been wondering why the room feels emptier, why certain voices have gone silent, why the crowd you used to lean on has thinned to a whisper. This is not rejection. This is a divine quarantine. God has pulled you out of certain circles to protect the chemistry of what he's building inside you. Some atmospheres carry spiritual contamination, opinions laced with doubt, counsel poisoned by envy, laughter that mocks what heaven has planted. If they stayed close, their words could weaken the root system of your destiny before it ever sees the light. He is breaking surveillance patterns. The enemy watches habits, not hearts. He studies your routines, your circles, your rhythms, and uses that data to predict your next move. But this sudden distance scrambles the signal. Your absence from familiar places is a divine jamming frequency. They can't intercept what they can't track. God is also reducing access points. Fewer people around means fewer cracks for gossip to seep in. Fewer hands that could touch the promise with unclean motives. Fewer voices to sow doubt into the soil of your faith. In this isolation, he is sealing the atmosphere of faith around you. Prayer saturates the air. Worship fills the room. Every molecule is charged with belief. This is your spiritual greenhouse, a controlled environment where no toxin can reach the seed. It's strategic misdirection. God hides your movement so adversaries think nothing is happening. They relax. They stop watching. And in that false sense of security, the blessing slips past their defenses, already secured before they realize it exists. This season is also detox. Detachment from draining attachments. Time alone has a way of exposing who you've been emotionally leaning on. God is severing the strings of dependency so no one can claim ownership over what's about to emerge. Now, without the constant noise of others, you are in a place of undistracted listening. The Father's voice becomes unmistakable. The instructions aren't fuzzy, they are precise. You will know not just what to do, but when and how and with whom. He is also shielding you from premature exposure. Public visibility before your spiritual armor is complete could invite battles you're not meant to fight yet. He is holding you in the shadow until your fortification is impenetrable. This is a recalibration of your discernment. Without constant external input, your spirit sharpens. You learn to feel the shift in a room before a word is spoken. You know, without doubt, who carries light and who hides shadow. And when the time comes, when heaven says, now, you will be positioned for a surprise unveiling. Allies will be stunned, adversaries will be blindsided, and the impact will be impossible to contain. You felt it, the way the air seems different when you walk into a room, not because you've changed your clothes, not because you've altered your tone, but because heaven altered your frequency. When God assigns you a high-level gift, the atmosphere around you shifts. Your spirit broadcasts a signal the natural ear can't hear, and those who are not aligned with that vibration, they withdraw, sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly. They can't explain it, and you don't need them to. Some people sense the weight of your coming elevation before you do. It's prophetic, but not conscious. They feel the pressure of your destiny pressing into their space, and it makes them uncomfortable. To some, it sparks quiet admiration. To others, it ignites fear, envy, even silent resentment. And so God begins the divine filtering, the sifting of your inner circle. Not everyone who stood with you in the valley can breathe with you on the mountain. Some relationships are seasonal scaffolding, meant to fall away once the structure is strong enough to stand. Avoidance can be an unintentional confession. They might not say a word, but their absence speaks volumes. Jealousy hides in sudden busyness. Competition masks itself as concern. Betrayal wears the costume of needing space. And God lets you see it now, before your gift is active enough for them to twist your story, or claim they built what they never touched. This is heaven's preemptive damage control. Because the moment your gift goes public, narratives will be written. Some true, some false. God is removing the ones who would try to hold your testimony hostage. There's also something deeper, what I call the spiritual allergic reaction. When people carry unrepented darkness, extended exposure to the light in you aggravates what's hidden in them. They squirm, they avoid eye contact, they start finding reasons not to be near. Your anointing is not toxic. It's just incompatible with their secret agreements in the shadows. So God protects the delivery room. Just like no one can crowd the space when a child is crowning, no one is allowed to stand too close while this sacred gift is being birthed. Heaven sets boundaries you didn't even know you needed. And their absence, it's not always a loss. It's a signal, a prophetic warning light flashing. Check your old agreements. Break soul ties to those who can't carry truth with you. Release the hand of anyone who wouldn't celebrate the promise after it arrives. God is making space, not empty space, prepared space. Space for covenant-level allies who can pray you through storms, war with you in the spirit, and guard the gift without making it about themselves. This shift in who's still around you, it's not random, it's not coincidence, it's proof. Proof that the unseen release process has already begun, and the gift is closer than you think. This is not just a blessing, this is an authority transfer in the spirit realm. Heaven is handing you a key, not a symbol, not a metaphor. A key that unlocks territories you've only dreamed of. A key that bypasses the signatures, the committees, the gatekeepers. When you insert this key into the invisible lock, the door swings open, and no man can shut it. This isn't a temporary favor. It's not a one-time breakthrough you can lose if you slip up. This is permanent access. Every time you face that barrier again, this key will open it. Not because the barrier changes, but because you have been granted jurisdiction over it. But the reach of this key is bigger than you. It unlocks generational gates. The doors your grandmother could not push open, the walls your father could not climb, the blessings that skipped entire branches of your family tree. This key reaches back and dismantles the locks. It sets your descendants free before they're even born. And while others are still filling out applications, waiting for recommendations, hoping for someone to make an introduction, you will be moving through divine shortcuts. Not by politics, not by favoritism, by heaven's clearance, signed and sealed in the courts above. Some chambers of your calling have been hidden. You've wondered why certain visions never took form. It wasn't because you failed, it was because you didn't yet have the authority. This key opens those hidden chambers. And when you step in, you'll find parts of your destiny you didn't even know existed. But hear this, a key opens, and a key locks. Heaven may entrust you to seal doors that must never be entered again, to shut down the influence of demonic access points, to end the cycle of sabotage that has stalked your territory for decades. And yet, this is a test of stewardship. Will you use this key for the kingdom? To advance light, to free the oppressed? Or will you trade it for applause, or twist it for personal gain? Your choices will determine whether the key becomes a weapon of freedom or a snare of pride. When you hold this key, you alter the rules of engagement. Normal procedures will not apply to you anymore. Earthly hierarchies will not be able to contain what heaven has authorized. You will walk where you were once barred. You will speak where you were once silenced. And as the door swings open, you will see them, the partnerships you didn't chase, the allies you never met before, stepping into place as if they were waiting for this exact moment. Because they were, and all who watch will know, this access was not human. This favor was not manufactured. This was divine backing. God himself placed the key in your hand, and no power in hell can take it away. You've been through storms that tore at your heart. Not because God wanted to destroy you, but because heaven needed your capacity stretched. Your emotions had to be trained like steel under fire. So when the gift arrives, you're not tossed around by every wave of feeling. You'll be steady, anchored, able to hold something priceless without spilling it in the chaos of the moment. Pain has been your teacher. It didn't just hurt you, it revealed you, exposed the cracks in your trust, the gaps in your discernment, the places where your boundaries were too weak to guard what God was building. You've learned where the walls must be fortified, where the gates must be locked, and where the enemy once slipped through unnoticed. Loss stripped away your dependencies. You used to reach for people to tell you who you are. Now you've learned to hear it from the one who formed you. When this life-changing gift arrives, you won't need applause to validate it. You won't beg for approval to use it. You'll operate from divine authority, not borrowed confidence. And heartbreak, it has been the scalpel that cut away illusions about loyalty. You've seen who was there for you, and who was only there for what you carried. This time, the wrong hands will not touch what God is about to release. Through it all, you've learned sacred restraint. You don't reveal every plan. You don't share every dream. You know the weight of words and how a blessing exposed too early can become a battlefield before its time. Walking through betrayal has sharpened your compassion. Now, you can see the hidden wounds behind people's actions. You no longer confuse manipulation with love or attention with commitment. Your discernment cuts through the surface to the truth beneath. And yes, pain has refined your selection criteria. You no longer hand over proximity casually. You understand that not everyone who smiles is safe, and not everyone who stays should stay. The next season will require a circle of covenant, not convenience. You've become fortified against manipulation. Flattery doesn't move you. Emotional pull doesn't sway you. You're rooted in your assignment, and the enemy cannot bait you off course with sweet-sounding traps. This has shaped a resilient identity in you. Your worth is no longer on the auction block. This gift will not change who you are. It will only amplify the unshakable truth you now carry. And above all, heartbreak has ensured that when this gift comes, you'll use it for the mission, not for revenge, not for validation, not to prove a point. It will be a holy tool in your hands, fit for the exact work God designed you to do. Because now, you are not just ready to receive. You are ready to protect. You are ready to wield. You are ready to multiply what heaven is about to place in your care. You've been feeling it, that strange, almost electric tension in the air. It's not anxiety. It's alignment. Your spirit is reading signals your mind hasn't caught up to yet. Whispers in the wind, currents in the unseen. This is heaven's way of saying, the package is already on the way. When angels move, the atmosphere bends. Scripture tells us their presence shifts reality. Jacob felt it in his dream at Bethel. Daniel felt it when Gabriel appeared. Mary felt it when the angel carried the Word made flesh. And you? You've been walking into rooms where the air feels charged, like a storm about to break. Not with rain, but with glory. What once felt far away is suddenly pressing in. Heaven's clock has moved. You are no longer in the slow grind of preparation. You are in the compression zone, where years collapse into moments, and what you thought would take decades is suddenly knocking at your door. Familiar rhythms are breaking apart. Dreams you can't explain. Random encounters that feel scripted. Interruptions that rearrange your plans without permission. It's not chaos. It's reorganization from the throne room. A prophetic, rearranging to make room for what's inbound. You may feel like your spirit is carrying a higher voltage than your body can hold. That's not stress, it's the buildup before the strike. Just as static gathers before lightning, the energy of breakthrough is condensing around you. Your very cells can feel it, because your destiny is not just spiritual, it's embodied. And yes, opposition has flared. Misunderstandings, distractions, people picking fights out of nowhere. Don't panic. That's the enemy catching the scent of heaven's courier. His interference is confirmation, proof that something priceless is coming in under his radar, and he's trying to shake you into dropping it before it arrives. But instead of retreating, you feel the pull, the urge to pray deeper, to fast without announcing it, to shift your posture, your focus, your time. You don't even know why you're rearranging your life like this. But the Spirit knows, and you are aligning with the exact drop point of heaven's delivery. You're noticing His presence more now, even in small, ordinary moments. Cooking dinner, driving home, washing your hands. It's as if the air between you and God has thinned, preparing you to recognize His touch. When He places the gift in your hands, and yet, it remains hidden. The courier is near, but the package is still sealed. You can feel it, but you can't see it. And that's on purpose. This concealment keeps you awake, keeps you leaning in, keeps the enemy guessing until the very last second. One day soon, you'll look back at this exact shift in the air and realize it was the signature, heaven's proof stamp, the mark that God had already stepped into your atmosphere long before the gift had your name on it in the natural. The moment a gift of this magnitude begins moving toward you, it gives off a signal in the spirit. Not a sound your ears can hear, but a frequency your enemies can sense. Your desires begin to shift. Your prayers become heavier. Favor starts appearing in places you never knocked. These are the fingerprints of heaven's preparation, and the adversary reads them like a warning flare. They don't always know the details, but they know something valuable is inbound. So they mobilize not to destroy it outright, but to make you open the door for them yourself. And here's where most fall. It's not just loose lips that leak the blessing. Every inner vow you speak in frustration, every resentment you replay, every anxious monologue you feed in your own mind, becomes an open transmission into the unseen. You think you're just venting, but in the spiritual realm, you're signing agreements you never meant to authorize. That's why the enemy's favorite tactic isn't theft, it's self-disqualification. He will engineer small irritations, petty offenses, and subtle provocations. So you choose bitterness over love, cynicism over faith, or compromise over obedience. And the moment you do, you've surrendered authority over the very gift you've been praying for. Beware the decoys that speed you up. Counterfeits don't always slow you down. Some rush you out of heaven's timing, pressuring you to act before the infrastructure is ready. Remember Abraham. Ishmael was born not from rebellion, but from urgency. Guard the night, because there's a war in the dream field. Night assault plant seeds, whispers of doubt, seductive visions of an easier path, trying to win your yes while you sleep. When you wake, revoke every unholy consent. Speak covenant truth out loud. Watch for familiar spirit reopeners. Those coincidental texts from people you buried in the past are not random. They are assignments to reopen wounds. Attach emotional strings and tangle your gift before it's even in your hands. And then there's premature platforming. Attractive opportunities that pull you into the spotlight, without prayer covering, without counsel, without structure. The goal? Burn you out, drag you into controversy, and spend your credibility before the real assignment begins. Even the algorithm has become a weapon. Endless feeds, micro-dopamine loops, notifications engineered to scatter your focus. Right when heaven's instructions are being whispered, tithe your attention back to God. Give him the first and best of your focus. The enemy's only legal standing is whatever ground you refuse to surrender to the cross. Unforgiveness, hidden sin, ungodly agreements. Strip him of it. Repent, renounce, bless your enemies, and watch his case collapse in the courts of heaven. This is a classified lawn. Handle it like one. Short fast, strategic silence, narrowed confidants, scripture over the blueprint. Ask for an angelic embargo over timing and channels. And when you move by peace, never by pressure. This gift is not just an addition to your life. It is the final piece, the keystone in the arch. The moment it drops into place, every test, every trial, every sleepless night suddenly holds together. You'll see why the pressure didn't crush you. It was shaping you to carry weight without collapse. This is more than a blessing. It is a blueprint. Heaven is handing you an operating system. Values that will not bend. Decisions that will not break. Boundaries that cannot be negotiated. This is the architecture your lineage will run on, long after you've stepped into glory. It will rename you. This is a name resonance moment. From survivor to builder. From borrower to lender. From the one who endured to the one who establishes. It will rewrite your family story so completely that future generations will read your name as the starting point, not the cautionary tale. But hear me, this is governance over glory. With this gift comes rules of engagement. What your house will never trade. Integrity. What your house will always do. Stewardship. Because legacies outlive emotions when they are guarded by principles. Without governance, blessings turn into burdens. This gift will be the sickle breaker. It will slam shut the feedback loops that kept your bloodline in chains. Fear, scarcity, self-sabotage. Those coming after you will start from freedom, not from repair. You will be the last to fight certain battles, and the first to plant in fields you never saw harvested. Personal talent will be converted into institution. It won't just be something you carry in your mind or heart. It will become structure. Schools that teach what you learned the hard way. Funds that resource the call. Systems that cannot die when you do. The wisdom will live in something that stands. This is territorial jurisdiction. You will not only own a gift, you will own the right to operate in a domain. An industry, a cause, a street corner heaven has claimed through you. This is durable favor. Your descendants will have legal, spiritual access to build where you have built. The moment it activates, trust, grace, multiplication begins. People you've never met, but who have been aligned with your calling, will find you. Relationships will compound like interest, creating a network that is more valuable than any inheritance of money alone. This gift will be an adversary deterrent. It will raise the cost of attack so high that only the most desperate enemies will try. And even then, they'll find themselves striking a wall built from clear standards, credible fruit, and unshakable alliances. And when heaven gives it, it will come with succession clarity. God will tell you exactly who gets the keys next, how they are to be trained, what must never be altered. Because legacies fail without succession, but this one will not. It is non-negotiable. Sometimes heaven hides the answer in plain sight, not wrapped in gold, but in something so ordinary you might walk past it. It's the discernment test, a prophetic filter that separates the impatient from the watchful. If you're tuned only to what looks impressive, you'll miss what's holy. But if you're tuned to the Spirit, you'll see God's fingerprints on what others dismiss. Your first reaction might be discomfort, even resistance, because the package doesn't match the prophecy. Faith must rise above feelings. Remember, Peter stepped out on water before the storm stopped. Your obedience comes first, the confirmation follows. Some blessings don't feel like blessings at first. They show up as more weight on your shoulders, more responsibility, more late nights. And you wonder, is this a gift or a burden? But in the kingdom, increased weight is a promotion, a sign heaven trusts you to carry more than you did yesterday. This is your alignment checkpoint. When the gift comes, it may collide with your comfort zone. It might demand you let go of what feels safe. You will have to choose mission over ease, calling over convenience. Gifts from God often come in seed form, small, unimpressive, even incomplete. Like David in the field, like Elijah's cloud the size of a man's hand, you must be willing to nurture it before it ever looks like the prophecy you heard. And watch this. When the gift comes, opposition will rise, not because it's wrong, because it's right. Resistance is a clue. Hell doesn't fight what isn't a threat. So if you feel the pushback, don't curse it. Recognize it as proof of value. The timing may not make sense. It may seem late or far too early. But heaven's calendar is not tied to human clocks. What feels inconvenient to you is perfect alignment in the Spirit. Your ability to recognize the gift depends on the maturity of your character. An immature heart will mishandle what God intends to multiply. So he waits, or he sends the gift in a way that forces you to grow before you see its full weight. And when the chaos swirls around you, pay attention to the peace. That unshakable, quiet knowing in your spirit is heaven's stamp of origin. Even if nothing around you looks stable, peace is your confirmation. Finally, look through the legacy lens. If this gift has the power to outlive you, to shape your children, your bloodline, your community, it's not just a gift, it's a generational shift. This is how you know it's divine. It changes more than your moment. It changes your destiny. Chosen one. God said you're about to receive a life-changing gift.